Back in 2001, Iceland deregulated their financial sector. In less than a decade, Iceland was bogged down in so much foreign debt they couldn't refinance it before the system crashed. And 8 years later, the government of Iceland is still prosecuting and jailing those responsible for market manipulation that crippled the economy. They're still doing it. They're not satisfied yet. In fact, they're so not satisfied that the people that they've already sent to jail for 6 years, they're trying to extend that sentence by changing the law. After the crash in 2008, while in America, Congress was giving American banks a $700 billion fillip, courtesy of the taxpayers, and we in this country were showering our bankers with £1.2 trillion in funds and promises, Iceland decided to go in a different direction and enabled their government to take control of the banks. When Iceland's president was asked, and his name was Olafur Ragnar Grimsson, when he was asked how the country managed to recover from the global financial disaster, he said, this is what he said, "We were wise enough not to follow the traditional prevailing orthodoxies of the Western financial world in the last 30 years. We introduced currency controls. We let the banks fail. We provided support for the poor, and we didn't introduce austerity measures like you're seeing in Europe." Hell, if the weather was better over there, I think I'd go live in Iceland. But we did in this country. And the bankers that caused the crash got richer, and the poor and the middle class got poorer. In the UK and America, not one single banking executive has been charged with a crime relating to the 2008 crash. Not one. And the US banks alone are raking in more than $160 billion in annual profits, with almost no regulation of any kind whatsoever, which is the same circumstance that got us into this mess in the first place. And our legislators and our politicians are bending over backwards to reassure our bankers that none of them are going to be charged with anything ever.